Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So I'm Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our quick BTC morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to this Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So Bitcoin on the 4-hour, as you can see, this is kind of what I was expecting, stroke hoping for. That we can basically start to try and populate price action between this 55k and this obviously 58.5k resistance zone, and then eventually with a view of eventually gathering up the momentum to break through that 58,500 and then continue with the bull run. Obviously it would have been great to break through straight away, but that would have been probably a bit too optimistic. And I would probably say the main thing was not for us to break up, was for us not to break down any further, which as of yet is the case. I mean, obviously that can all change, but we are still holding this 55k level, and we've not come down and tested, we've not really come down and tested this level again or attempted to break it. So that is all good. That is what I would hope for at the moment, is that we can basically stay above 55k, and the longer we do that, the more chance we've then got of breaking back above 58.5k, and then I think that'll pretty much be the start of the next medium-term move, deep into the 60Ks and potentially beyond, just depending on how punchy Bitcoin does want to be. But again, as I always say, it's kind of levels really. We're trading in this range, respecting these levels, and yeah, that's what we've got to look out for, either breaking above or breaking below on a 4-hour candle closing basis. You could look at this as a bear flag, but to be honest, it's not really the greatest bear flag, to be honest, obviously with how low this came. But yeah, you could look at it as a bear flag, and we could be looking for a move down. That would obviously take us straight through 52k, which then would realistically give us a target of around 46k. So that is the downside, and we should be cognizant of that. But obviously with things that are going on in the wider markets, I do have a bullish bias. And also that's not even to take into account the macro overall trend, which is clear to the upside too. It does kind of look like we just had one of those Bitcoin style moves really, where we shake a lot of people out. Obviously if we do want to divert our eyes over to here, you can kind of see we did have a big move down. We did kind of bounce pretty much like we are kind of now, and then we did come down again lower, actually a couple of times. All I will say that is different this time, as you can just see we've managed to hold above 55k in this area for longer than we did at this point. So the longer we hold it for, the more likely is that we're not then going to break down further, and then we're then just going to resume the macro trend. Over to the star of the show, the belle of the ball, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Satoshi pairing, making very nice progress. Again, this was kind of similar to kind of what we've been saying. The longer we don't basically break down, the more likely it is that we then we continue to the upside. So yeah, we managed to use this area of support quite nicely. Did test into it a few times, including one last kind of push down before a nice catapult to the upside, and we now find ourselves above the next horizontal level. So we are within a stone's throw of getting back above this recent high. I say it's, I mean, realistically, we'll probably consolidate and trade sideways in this wide range for a bit. A bit, however long a bit is. I don't think we're just going to catapult straight up, but we basically are looking good. We are looking bullish. We are looking bullish. We are looking like this is now a higher low, and we are basically gunning for a higher high at some point, and that is going to be fantabulous. I would say overall for cryptocurrency as a whole, I know you get the Bitcoin maximalists that don't like this sort of thing, but at the end of the day, what Ethereum pretty much, the price movements in Ethereum relative to Bitcoin signify to me is the fact that crypto is getting is getting used for obviously all the dApps and all the use cases and all the DeFi that is on Ethereum. So kind of like Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin is just is one of the clearest signs that that crypto is a healthy ecosystem overall. If the opposite was the case and money was flowing from Ethereum back into Bitcoin, then that would be a sign of ill health for the crypto sphere, in my opinion. But yeah, this is looking good anyway. We are looking to basically come up and tap the top of this channel, like I have been saying, even this horizontal maybe, and then see what happens. I mean, we can then by all means break out the top of the channel, and yeah, have an absolute spectacular move to the upside. I know people might think ascending channels are bearish formations, and yeah, I mean they can be, but they can still also break to the upside, and I will show you one in copper. If I can find it on my chart. If I can't, basically, yeah, here it is. Copper, basically, I don't know if I annotated this chart. Yeah, copper was basically an ascending channel here, and as you can see, broke out the top and continued onwards and upwards, very, very nicely. Let's have a look at that USD pairing for what it's worth. Not that it's that important to myself. But I'm sure it is to some of you guys. But yeah, this is obviously looking good again. You can see held this pretty much, held this horizontal, and now looking to, well, basically pretty much look like we nearly tapped this next level, slightly front ran. But if once we get above here, I actually think the next stop in the trending move will be about 3k, maybe over 3k. So Ethereum looking pretty good. Bitcoin dominance doing its thing. We are now fully and formally testing the bottom of this trend line. Now this is obviously a very long-term macro trend line, and obviously as you can see, we can break well below it. And then wick back up, and then have a basically a nice move. So it's not like this is an immediate level where you want to get out of alts. We could really see like an acceleration once we lose this trend line to the downside, and then that could then be picked up. And then we could basically find ourselves back within the channel, and then maybe even coming back test around the 57% market dominance. So obviously that would be catastrophic for alts. But again, it just would be in this larger time frame. You can just healthy price movement. We can't go down in a straight line, but hey, nice if we do. But we are basically risking at the moment a nice move to the downside. It just depends on how sustainable that move is, and then when we get a substantial retrace of this overall move down, which clearly you can see we haven't at all yet. But just remember, markets don't move in one direction in a straight line forever, as you guys I'm surely know. Yeah, stock market looking good. DXY, as we can see, we're on a daily here. We go to the 4 hour. We can see it's back testing our main hours. We're all in this together. Main breakdown point to signify the medium-term downtrend is resumed, and that was taking out these lows here. So we did take them out, accelerated to the downside. We are now currently having a back check. So the forward check, the back check. So if we get rejected here, look out for basically the paycheck down to the 89 handle. So yeah, quick wrap up today, because I have got to do something in 5 minutes. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Oh wait, sorry. Before we go, as we always do, we'll look at the stochastics. Are these 10-12 round daily starting to look better? 4 hour has turned back over, but as you can see, it is making progress to the upside overall, which is good to see. 10 hour, and these have got to be turning back up now, to be honest. Without even having to, 10 hour did turn back up, but he's now looking to potentially turn back down. 12 hour has turned back up, and daily is still diving. So yeah, I mean, there is definitely still actually a a bearish bias to these stochastics. So yeah, maybe just yet we're not quite ready to break to the upside. So maybe well, to be honest, maybe this bear flag will play out. Maybe we are gonna have come down and have another swipe around the 52, 53Ks, just as people are getting a bit comfortable in this range. Maybe we'll get a wick below again and then bought back up, and then that will be the proper flush out of the over optimistic bulls. But that is only based on the stochastic read. Again, we'll just play these levels as they are, how we see them. But yeah, I would be cognizant of the fact of closing candles again under 55,000, that we could then get that acceleration to the downside, just to hunt some more liquidity, because obviously people are buying back in here, thinking that this is obviously the low, and it very may well be. There is a convincing case for that, as I have probably put out myself already in this video, pretty convincing case that we are just building under here to break back up. But that could obviously be taken advantage of by those evil whale manipulators for another hunt for liquidity below these prices, and then we resume the uptrade. So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Again, not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always DYOR, and I shall speak to you guys soon.